Hi, and welcome to my October 2025 crystal ball readings. For those of you who haven't seen me before, there's my crystal ball. Name's Poppy, and I use her for she gives me symbols and energy and things like that. Just to give you crystal ball readings for your zodiac sign for the coming month. Okay. So anyway, my name's Lynnette Hart. You'll find me on Facebook and YouTube. But she also gives me a general energy sign for everybody, just the general energy of the month, which is quite interesting this month, but I'll get to that in a minute. I do legally have to say a disclaimer because here in the UK we have to say that this is a form of entertainment. Okay, whatever you do with any of the advice or words that I give out is entirely your responsibility what you do with them. And we legally have to say that. Okay. So, so for October 2025, she's given me very quickly a couple of different energies here. She's given me a grounding energy and a grassroots energy. Okay. So for the grounding energy, that's about going back to nature, getting outside, maybe using crystals, meditation. Now, that doesn't have to be sitting there doing a straight meditation. You could be meditating while you're walking in nature. So there's different ways of like meditating. And also it's about what she's like gone on about removing low energy items. Now this is something you've got to do for yourself. Maybe do a bit of research on it and things like that. But there's a lot of low energy items around us that really aren't helping us to ground anymore. Okay, so that could be clothing that you wear, it could be items around the house and things like that. So you've been encouraged to look at things like that, and that will help with the grounding. All right, it's not easy to change, especially if you're on a low income, and I completely understand that because it's not easy. But things do need to change. Okay, the grassroots energy. Um, that's about. I think it's about changing reactions to me. It's just about everyday folk, just like you, me, just local grassroots folks, and just being aware that you are buying power. Be aware that you can change your focus. Be aware that you can change where you put your energy. And energy could be where you put your money, could be where you put your reactions. It's different ways of doing it. So just think about your grassroots energy. Okay. And interesting. But keep yourself grounded. So there's a lot of different things. I wasn't quite expecting that from her this month with all the SHIT going on. So, but yeah, it makes sense. So anyway, we'll go on to the zodiac signs. Now for Aries, she gave me a dragon. Now when it instantly it's like you couldn't see the dragon. It was slowly coming. And then suddenly, once it made its energy felt, it just lit up. All right. So this felt more to me about it was dragon light energy. Okay. Now, dragon light energy is absolutely brilliant for personal protection and bringing light and clarity to a situation in your life. Okay. They do this by helping to clear blockages in your life. And you can get this by asking your own personal dragon. We all have our personal angels and unicorns and family guides, but you also have a personal dragon, angelic dragon, I'm on about. And you just have to ask them to come in and help. All right. But you also could find dragon light energy can also be found in like the earth ley lines and things like that. But it's definitely dragon light energy that seems quite important for you this month, Aries. All right. So we can think about you instead. All right. So we go on to Taurus. Now we got a bee. I got loads of like shiny blossom and energy around it. Um, then I got loads of family guides and that popping up. And So it does feel like she's given me for Taurus a lot of growth symbolism here. But also look, because you got a bee, bees are very natural. They do a lot for us for the earth. We couldn't survive on earth without the bees. Is to look at natural remedies, food, things like that. All right, look at the natural things. And your family guides are very active around you at the minute now. Now, family guides, they are coming a bit more active now because our ancient ancestors have started coming in more and more and more as things are changing. Um, so it's important if you can try to like listen to their wisdoms, pearls of wisdom, the support signs they give you, and just listen out for what they're trying to say. I mean, I've found a lot recently where I'm like, remembering things that my mum used to say, what my nanny used to say, and they're still very relevant today. And then, I get the more ancient ancestors coming in, and it's quite interesting, shall we say. And but they're there. So bees and blossoming energy and family guides for you, Taurus. Okay. Now for Gemini, it's a bit of a strange one, this one. Instantly, I got to see these tunes. I had the radio on in the background very softly. And instantly, I got this song that came up that my mum used to sing when I was a kid, dancing in the kitchen. And I thought, oh, she's with me. She's with me. She's been a bit quiet of late. And then I just followed straight after by a Bay City Rollers song. You of a certain generation will know what I'm talking about. So, which we used to have beautiful holidays up in Scotland. Very, very happy memories of holidays in Scotland. I'm still in touch with my friends from Scotland all those decades ago. And it just made me think just about just connecting to your again, it's about your lineage. To me, I've just last couple of years found out I've got a lot of Celtic in me, which was a bit of a surprise. But it wasn't. It shouldn't have been a surprise because I've always felt that Scotland, the Scottish energy, the Celtic energy is my spiritual home. Okay, so I felt with this jumping up, just as I was going into Gemini, my mum was Gemini as well. Was to find your answers to move forward. Let your family guides, in particular, help you to navigate the blocks, or use your strong instinct, right, to get around the blocks. All right. And then suddenly, I just got this message, this jump in for Gemini, and it says, "Remember to laugh." When we dog start barking. I'll just finish in a minute. Hold on. And I felt that was quite apt because I'm not a Gemini. Obviously, my mum's influence is Gemini, and I think in these dark times that we're going through, it is important to laugh. It is really important to remember to laugh because that lifts the energy. All right. Now, I've been through a bit of a dark time these last few months, well, last few years, to be honest. And I've watched flicking through YouTube. I'll tell you this because it's quite where it needs to be for you, Gemini. And pop this Jasper Carrot. Again, people of a certain age will know what I'm talking about. A comedian. And the comedians are getting very badly hit of late. So it was about very late in the evening when this popped up. Well, I think my neighbours must have thought I was having a jolly good time because I just couldn't stop laughing at the Jasper Carrot. I always found him very highly, highly amusing. Yes, I just remember, it just made me think. I think I'd forgotten how to laugh with everything, all the dark energies going on and all this crazy times we're having at the minute. So remember to laugh. Remember to laugh, Gemini. Actually, I would put this out for everybody, to be honest. Every zodiac sign. Remember to laugh. It lifts that energy. All right. It stops that darker, denser energy getting to you. All right. So remember to laugh. But particularly Gemini for this month. So that's for Gemini. It goes to Cancer, and similar kind of theme here because she just gave me a jester, the old-fashioned court jesters. And sometimes in life we do need to joke around, you know. But sometimes if you the tarot card, when you get like the jester, it comes up in the Fool card. It can be really, really good card or a good image, as long as you've done your research, as long as you've checked like your inner self, your outer self out, and things like that, and made good choices, done your research, done, whatever you need to do before you proceed. Otherwise, you just might end up looking a bit like the wrong type of jester, and that's a bit of a fool. So just keep that balance right with this jester energy. All right. So that's for Cancer. All right. Leo, I've got somebody sitting very thoughtful on, I think it was an outside bench or on a rock or that type of thing. And there's an awful lot of family and animal guides around this person. So it felt like for me, it was very much like choices and decisions need making. Sitting around perusing what needs to be done without doing any action or research or anything is actually making things more difficult for you. All right. So your animal and family guys are trying to help you by getting you to follow your gut instinct or listen to them. So, and only then when you get that clarity, you can make a decision. Whatever's going on in your life, it could be just one area of your life. It's time to start thinking about making a decision, Leo, and seeing what can be done. All right. Even if it's just, like I said, just go and research. At least you're doing something. All right. So that's for Leo. For Virgo, I got a very unfocused image and I just couldn't really see what I was looking at. And then suddenly I got a yellow glow coming up. And it just sort of thought, it just looked like the sun was starting to rise very slowly in the morning above the horizon. But it was very, very slow. So it sounds like to me that there's focus and new beginnings coming in for at least one area of your life, Virgo. And it helps make you feel inspired and more creative, and especially if you've been going through a difficult time. So this is a soft yellow sun energy rising. So keep going forward and allow the brighter energy to glow in your life. All right. You've got to accept it in, especially if you've been going through a difficult time. And it's not easy to always, we can get a bit stuck when we go through a difficult time. But this is offering you that energy to take things forward, at least in one area of your life. Okay. But you've got to accept it. You've got to accept, and with that acceptance, there's a let go as well. But it's here. So it's for you, Virgo. Keep going. Good luck. For Libra, I got a very solid foundation. And out of the foundation, there's other foundations. So it seemed like the solid foundations grew off. And around it, there was like, in it, the foundations, there's this gentle red glow. All right. And I sat for a while thinking, yeah, what's going on here? But then I started to think, you either have or are just starting to build a solid foundation. All right. You might have got a foundation like that where you've got a bit of a solid foundation, but this is building on it. All right. So this could be on many different levels of your life. All right. It could be that you're going up progressing in a job that you've been in for a while. It could be you're progressing in relationships and things like that. But it's It's about building more, right? And the red glow, to me, it felt as if to me, when you get like red glows like that, it's I automatically go to what chakras they are, and that's kind of like your base chakra, your root chakra, some call it, or other names. So that's, to me, it's about also doing the foundation work within your inner self. All right. That will help also build up your foundations. All right. So whatever you're doing, well done, Libra, and keep going. All right. Get building them foundations even stronger. All right. So that's for Libra. For Scorpio, straight away, Archangel Michael's symbol moved in. Okay. And that's very slightly behind him. There was a little bit of a red pathway coming in. All right. So for the Archangel Michael, he's very good at helping you to break chains that bind you because he's sword, right? Give you strength and protection and things like that. So this is about this releasing what no longer serves you, basically. Excuse me. And the red pathway is about putting down new foundations in your life because it was flat on the pathway. So this is new foundations, not like Libra, who'd already got some solid foundations and moving upwards. Not saying you haven't got solid foundations in your life, but there's at least one area of your life where it needs better growth. All right. And this could be, again, an inner process because we all have little thoughts in our heads that no longer serve us and things like that. And sometimes they need cutting. And this could be just about bad habits you've got. It could be about, breaking other cycles in your life. Just think what cycles you need breaking and see what Archangel Michael can help you with. All right. And get that new pathway in. All right. So that's for Scorpio. For Sagittarius, well, just various images jumping around. So, I mean, there's that many images coming up. The ones I got was a ship, a mountain, musical guide, and loads of different growth symbols. All right. And that's the one I saw. She was just jumping around with all these images. So I thought, well, there's plenty there. And it just feels just all over the place. So I feel part of that is that trying to bring focus into your life. All right. To help you move forward and move through and around current obstacles, because the mountain can be an obstacle. All right. And the growth was also coming out of the mountain. The ship, well, that usually signifies move forward, keep going with the flow. All right. The musical guide, that felt very much as what listen to your soul, especially through music. Music can touch your soul. All right. And they can help give you clarity about moving forward. All right. So it just feels as if you're doing the right things, don't worry. It's just that there's a few obstacles and different growth patterns coming up, okay? So, but listen to your guides, listen to your soul, all right? Do what's right for you and get moving forward, or keep moving forward, should I say? And that's for Sagittarius. For Capricorn, I'm not sure if I got this in another month for Capricorn. I might have done without looking back, and neither the other knows. But I got a hermit. I got the cave entrance, and I got the light energy. All right. Now, the hermit was either going in the cave or just coming out of the cave. So it could be different things for you, right? So whether you're in hermit mode or just being in hermit mode and you're starting to come out, you've either done that reflection or just about to go into the reflection and then step out to the light again. All right. So it's okay to go into hermit mode. It's okay to go into that little cave and do plenty of reflection. Don't get stuck in there, though. It makes things worse when you get stuck in the cave. All right. So it's important that you do your work, and if you've just done your work, come out with more clarity, and for you to move forward in whatever area you're reflecting on. Okay. So that's the Capricorn. For Aquarius, I got what I call the house sign. Unfortunately, I also got a stop sign near it. All right. And then there was like loads of darker shadows all around it that looked like other options that either haven't developed yet or you haven't explored yet. All right. So also, when I get a house normally, if I'm doing a reading for somebody, it's about that could be that they're moving house. It could be that there's changes they need in the house, redecorating. Could be just moving the furniture around or putting more scatter cushions around. But there's something about the house that's there. All right. So what this is asking you is just to stop and just think. Yeah, it's just saying just to give let them other options become more seeable that you need to maybe explore and then make your choice. Not saying you can't make whatever you need to do for your house. And I also want you to throw living arrangements into some of this for some of you, all right, within a house. So look at the other options that you probably have been a bit blast-sided with and see what other routes it can take you down and then make your choice. Okay, so just delay it a little bit. Right, so that's for Aquarius. For Pisces, I just got loads and loads and loads of bright light energy. But it felt very focused around a feminine energy. All right. And this, I don't know why I got this, but it just felt this is the impression she was giving me. I wrote down here, especially around things you value. Now, value is not necessarily materialistic. All right. It's just energy of what you love around you. All right, or live inside you and that type of thing. So it feels like you're embracing a different thoughts or views which bring even more light into your life. All right. So this feels as if it's not saying as if there's specifically wrong in your life or anything like that. It just feels as if there's going to be an upgrade, an uplift, a different thought pattern, more light energy. So if you're into like your yin yang divine masculine energy, ask the feminine energy if you're into asking things like that to help you make different choices, different thoughts, get yourself challenged. But it's a beautiful energy, so don't worry too much. Just allow things to progress naturally on their own. Okay, so that was for like Pisces. And this is the endings, but I just kind of like noticed poppies that just also not just giving me symbols this month, but also adding the energy readings to some of the zodiac signs as well. And obviously just gives that at the beginning. So she's developing, well, I mean, she developed quite good anyway, but within the context of these readings, she seems to be putting everything on a different level. So there's a lot more better energy coming in. I know it doesn't feel like it if you watch the TV or anything like that. I know it doesn't feel like it, but there is. All right. And it's important to remember that when you start getting hit by what's going on out there, shall we say. All right. So remember the general energy she gave us. The general energy was grounded in grassroots energy. Okay. So that's all for this month for October 2025. And hopefully I'll see you next month. Bye for now. Bye.